So a heads up. So I took Colorado out of the Pac-12. I put them in the Mountain West Conference. Or was it the Big 12? I forgot. Damn, I forgot. It's been a minute, man. But I took them out and I put in Utah State, thinking that the game was going to be competitive. And boy, was I wrong. So as you see, Utah State is in the 70s. We have 3 5-star recruits making their official visits today. You see the goals. That's all we have to do. That look like it's pretty easy, right? Charles O'Neal, the 5-star. Aaron Thornton, the athlete. Jason Edwards, the tight end. So the USC Trojans are hosting the Utah State Aggies today. In real life, they are the defending Mountain West Conference champions. But here, they're going to get put in a spliff. So Utah State is right behind Utah. Talk about ironic. UCLA right behind us. Talk about ironic once again. Arizona State is in front of Arizona. Everybody is behind a rival. So let's get this thing on and popping, man. We got these Utah State Aggies. But what a wild weekend in real life for college football. Absolutely nuts. And what a performance, especially in the first half, by those USC Trojans as they defeated the Stanford Cardinal 41-28 in real life. Now for the USC Trojans in this game, it was a tale of two halves. First drive of the game, Stanford's driving downfield, and then McKee throws a pick. Max Williams picks it off. We're going back the other way. Following drive, USC's on offense. Caleb Williams eventually drives the team down to the end zone. We scored the first touchdown of the game. The pass is caught in the end zone by Lakeman Reed, the tight end. Now, that is something we haven't seen in a very long time, a tight end touchdown. So then Stanford gets the ball again. They're driving downfield, and this time our defense is getting cooked. We thought they had a touchdown pass, but replay neglected them of that, and that was the right call. But it did have a heel down in the white spot of the end zone. So then they go for it, and then lo and behold, another interception in the end zone for the USC defense. This time it's McKee Blackman taking the ball out the end zone. I believe he got past the 30, was it past the 20? I don't remember. And then we go downfield once again. This time Caleb Williams finds Jordan Addison. I believe it was a wide receiver screen pass, and he gets into the end zone for a touchdown. We go up 14-0. And then Stanford gets the ball back on offense, and we're getting cooked once again on defense. As you see, the Florida Gators squeaked by the Georgia State Panthers. I believe that's their mascot. But anyway, back to the game in real life. So Stanford, they get the ball back. They go back downfield, and it was, I believe that was the drive that they had the end around with the 54-yarder. Somebody correct me in the comment section if I'm wrong. It was their first or second scoring drive. But anyway, so they go downfield. They finally get into the end zone for a touchdown, and then our offense gets straight back to work. This time, Caleb Williams finds Jordan Addison downfield. He spins out of a tackle, gets into the end zone for a touchdown, and Jordan Addison now has 4 touchdowns in his first 2 games as a USC Trojan. Absolutely crazy. Addison is a beast. And I'm starting to see why Pitt fans were so angry that he decided to transfer. But anyway, so Stanford has the ball once again. So at this point, it's 21-7. They're driving downfield again. And once again, our defense is getting cooked. So E.J. Smith, if you don't know E.J. Smith, that is the son of Emmitt Smith. He plays for Stanford, and I forgot he was down there. So he takes the handoff, he goes up the right side, and there goes Max Williams, not only making a tackle, but forcing a fumble on him. We recover it, and once again, the defense stands tall. Now, the defense, for the most part, especially early throughout the first quarter, early second quarter, they was getting cooked on defense, but then boom, turnover, boom, another turnover, and then boom, the last turnover. So they got 3 turnovers in the first half. That last one was huge. And then we go right back downfield, and this time it's the Caleb Williams and Mario Williams connection from Oklahoma. So Caleb Williams throws the ball deep downfield. It's a high over underthrown ball as well. And Mario Williams using his hand-eye coordination to not only focus on the ball, but to make that catch. And then Mario Williams on that wide receiver screen play, where he put that move on the DB and ran into the end zone for another touchdown. That was his first touchdown as a USC Trojan. And he put on a great performance too. So I believe Addison had 172 yards. I believe Mario Williams had a total. He had 74 yards on 4 catches, plus a touchdown. So the top 2 wide receivers on this team did what they had to do, but I'm looking for that third wide receiver to step up. We really need that. Look at Santana Perry though, picking off that pass. That was a great interception there by the man straight out of Compton. Dude is a great play. I believe he's a sophomore too. So back to the game in real life. So Stanford, they go back downfield, they get them another touchdown. So at this point, it's 28-14 in favor of USC. Then we go back on offense, and this time the running game shows out. Travis Dye is a hitting gem. Whoever gets him in the NFL draft is going to get a very special running back. The play that which he scored on, Caleb Williams calls an audible, changes the play at the line of scrimmage. A gap opens up the gut on a read. I think it was a zone read. Up the gut. Nobody's there. Travis Dye saw that, made the cut, went up to the end zone for a touchdown. That was a beautiful play call and beautiful execution by that USC offense. So at this point, we scored on our first 4 drives. Stanford at this point has no answer on offense. They can't stop us on defense. So at this point, we go into halftime. It's 35-14. We're just dominating. We're expecting the same thing coming out the locker room second half. And it was anything but that. As a matter of fact, it was the complete opposite. USC in that second half looked like a completely different team from what we saw in the first game and what we saw of the first half of this Stanford game. As a matter of fact, it looked like the last 3-4 years. Lackadaisical on offense, no answer on offense. But the difference this time was the defense. I think we was depending too much on defense in the second half. I don't know if we got complacent, but the problem is in the second half, everything that we was doing in the first half, we was not doing second half on offense. I believe Stanford made some adjustments at halftime where they had DB stay back, so they really didn't give us nothing deep. We saw Caleb Williams get some carries on some quarterback keepers, on some option keepers, I should say. That was one in particular that stood out to me, in which he could have scored in. It was like, mid-4th quarter, I believe it was. He has a blocker on the right side. He cuts upfield, there's nothing but green in front of him. But he decides to try to take it to the outside. Eventually, he got tackled. He didn't get many yards. But with that being said, we got to work on that. The second half reminded me too much of the last 3 years with that other guy. I'm not going to say his name. Now, Stanford, they did make changes too. E.J. Smith had a bad game despite the fact that he had a touchdown rushing and a touchdown receiving. He did fumble the ball twice. The last time, though, that was it as far as David Shaw. David Shaw benched him for the rest of the game, and the guy that he put in there to take his spot was backup running back by the name of Casey Filkins, excuse me. Finkel's had a pretty decent game too. He had 77 yards on 16 carries, 4.8 a carry, and a touchdown. And that might give him the starting job next week. I don't know. There might be some running back competition this week out there in Palo Alto, California. But the defense, doing those 2 scoring possessions for Stanford, were getting cooked. We're getting tired, and our offense is partially to blame for that because they didn't give them enough time to rest. But nevertheless, you got to step up on defense and make plays, man. Now, eventually we did make plays, but we didn't capitalize on any of them on offense. We only scored 6 points in the second half, and that is very alarming. So I'm pretty sure this week Lincoln Riley is going to be preaching finishing throughout this week as we get ready to take on Fresno State. So We did get a fumble recovery. Like I said earlier, we forced E.J. Smith to fumble the ball twice. He got benched for the rest of the game after that second one. But anyway, on top of that, we got 5 sacks on that quarterback. We got 5 sacks on Stanford's quarterback. So the players that got the Tanner McGee, I know Shane Lee was one of them. I believe the other one was Solomon Byrd. As a matter of fact, Solomon Byrd got 2 sacks on McKee. Nicholas got a sack on Tanner McKee, and then Tuli Pelotu got a sack as well. So that's 5 sacks on Tanner McKee. The defense did a very good job, especially down the stretch, making sure that they don't get in the end zone no more. As Curtis Cotton gets into the end zone right there, diving, the 6'6" phenom playing running back. Yeah, that's right, I said it. But anyway, back to the game in real life. Now, in the second half on offense, USC was very frustrating to watch. Like I said earlier, we only got 6 points in the second half. Like it was like the Stanford defense just took stuff from us. Of course, they took the deep ball from us. But a lot of run patterns wasn't working. I was hoping to see more Relique Brown as the second half progressed, but we didn't get that. And I was hoping that we would pound the football the rest of the way as the game continued to get out of reach and finish them off. Now, we had over 150 yards rushing in this game. I believe it was 164. We had over 300 yards passing, but they had 200 passing, and they also had 200 rushing. But that's expected from Stanford. Stanford's going to run that football, whether you like it or not. David Shaw is not going to break character. So anyway, we win. Nevertheless, despite the fact that I was very frustrated at that second half performance, we are 2-0 in the season, and we are now ranked as the number 17 in the country. So with that being said, let's talk about the other news that came out the day after the Wild Saturday. The Nebraska Cornhuskers hosted the Georgia Southern Eagles, and they ended up losing that game. And you know, the other guy that we're not going to mention is the head coach at Georgia Southern. They beat the Cornhuskers on their home turf, and that was the last straw for the Nebraska faithful as far as Scott Frost. Now, I said eventually that he was going to get fired, and I do have a Nebraska fan that follows me. I wonder what he's thinking right now. As a matter of fact, if you do see this video, man, comment below what you think of that, man, because I saw it coming. As a matter of fact, it's been coming for a long time now. It's been coming for a while. Nebraska has struggled since he's been there. They just don't be living up to expectations. The fact of the matter is, it's not the Nebraska of old. It's not the Nebraska of the 90s. It's not the Nebraska of the 80s and, of course, the 70s. They thought Scott Frost was going to come back and bring back that old Cornhusker magic that's been gone for a very long time now. It's been gone for a while now. Let's just face reality, man. But the Cornhuskers are now looking for a new coach. And for what I'm hearing, their primary target is Iowa State's head coach, Matt Campbell. So I'm going to be on the lookout for that. As you see, Richie Peters make that touchdown catch with that beautiful footwork. So going on to South Bend, Indiana. And I must say, the Sun Belt Conference is showing out this season so far. So you had Old Dominion upset Virginia Tech. I believe that was either last week or week 0. And then this weekend you have the Marshall Thundering Herd going up to South Bend, Indiana, upsetting the number 8 team in the country, a team that was mad overrated, man. I kind of feel bad for Marcus Freeman, but then again, I don't, because I hate Notre Dame. If you know me well in real life, you know how much I hate Notre Dame. So Marshall, I believe, received $1.2 million for that game, if my memory is correct. So then we got we go to College Station, Texas. Appalachian State, who should have won the week before last week. They should have beat North Carolina, but they go down to College Station, Texas. They beat another overrated team in the Texas A&M Aggies. Now, Texas A&M is a team that's been making a lot of noise in the offseason, you know, getting the quote-unquote greatest recruiting class of all time with all those 5 stars. Jimbo Fisher, calling out Nick Saban about paying players and stuff like that. The Texas A&M Alabama game is a game that everybody's been anticipating since Jimbo Fisher made those public comments about Nick Saban. But you know them Alabama fans licking their chops now, boy. I already know they are. But yeah, they shouldn't have been ranked that high anyway. Everybody was so hyped off Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher, I think he's a great recruiter. I don't think he's that great of a coach. If anything, I think he's a mediocre coach. I mean, he ran Florida State to the ground. He dipped out on them. He went down to College Station. And now he's not living up to expectations up there right now. I won't be surprised if they lose a couple of more times. I really won't. As a matter of fact, they got the Miami Hurricanes this coming up weekend. So I can't wait to see that matchup. But anyway, speaking of Alabama, what did y'all think of that Alabama-Texas game? The call with the roughing the passer in the end zone, I thought was absolutely ridiculous. I thought that was a very terrible call. But the Texas Longhorns had many chances to win that game. As a matter of fact, Steve Sarkisian should be ashamed of himself for that red zone play calling. That was awful. So they had 5 red zone trips, the Texas Longhorns that is. You only got in the end zone 1 time out of those 5 trips. And that field goal that you missed right before halftime is inexcusable. College kickers be killing me, man. So let's go back to that first drive for Texas. So in that first drive, Xavier Worthy had a wide open opportunity, and he dropped that touchdown pass in the end zone. Now I know there was a lot of holding calls that were missed by Alabama. I know that I saw all those. But there were so many opportunities for Texas to win that game, and Texas should have won that game. And I believe their reward for it was being ranked in the top 25 for losing to the top team in the country, or at least for keeping it close. Yeah, but I don't know what the hell is that about. But anyway, let's go to the Florida-Kentucky game. So Kentucky's unranked. They're playing Utah, and they beat them. And then what's their reward? They get ranked as the number 12 team in the country. So they go from being completely unranked, and then boom, they right up there at the top 12, right up there, right outside the top 10. Then you lose to Kentucky. Doesn't make any sense. And now they're what? I forgot what they're ranked now. And then on top of that, you have Texas A&M still ranked. Like, what's that about? How are they still ranked? Just crazy. When Oregon got blown out by Georgia, they dropped them out the top 25. But here they are losing to Appalachian State, and their reward for it is going from 7 to 24. So the inconsistency is there. Oh, damn, look at that. Nebraska done lost to Wisconsin in this series. Damn. They can't catch a break at all. But anyway, the USC Trojans have Fresno State next weekend. I believe it is with a 6:30 kickoff or a 9:30 kickoff. I forgot. But I will be tuning in. I believe the game is on ESPN. Hopefully it's not on Pac-12 Network. That's one of the reasons why we're leaving the Pac-12 in the first place. Look at, did y'all see the news today? They got us playing Oregon State on Pac-12 Network. And that's going to be a big and impactful game. But anyway, join us next time. I still got to talk about the EA Sports video game. Damn. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.